Okay, year 9, let's go through the papers. Okay, or paper, I should say. Okay, first one, number 1, it says round this number to 3 significant figures. Okay, nice and easy. 3 significant figures. We need to start from the first non-zero number. So that is here, so that's number 1, 2, 3. We need to cut it off here. The next number along is going to tell us whether to round up or to leave it. Because this number is 5 or more, so it's 7, it's 5 or more, so we're going to round up. So it's 0.00895. Next, it says a box contains 80 pens. 36 pens are black, 24 are red, and the rest are green. What is the ratio of green to black? Now, a lot of you lost marks because you have to write it in the order it says here. So green pens to black pens. Now, to find out how many green pens there are, you're going to do 36 plus 24, which gives you 60. Then do 80, because there are 80 pens in total. 80 take away 60, it means there must be 20 green pens. And unfortunately, it is quite a bit for 1 mark, but very simple. So then you write 20 to 36. But that is not the end, and it won't get you any marks, I'm afraid, because it says written in its simplest form. So you have to do that, I'm afraid. So hopefully you realise that the biggest number that goes into both 20 and 36 is 4. And that gives you 5 to 9. That's what you needed for the 1 mark. Okay, question 3. A wooden pole is 2 meters long, 120 centimeters of the pole is painted blue. What percentage of the pole is not painted blue? So first of all, it may be easier for you to turn 2 meters into centimeters. So that is 200 centimeters. 120 centimeters of the pole is painted blue, which means that if you do 200, take away 120, that gives you 80 centimetres is not painted blue. Okay, it asks for the percentage, so it's going to be 80 out of 200. And so remember how we turn a percentage into, a fraction into a percentage, I should say. So let me just make sure I've read this correctly. 100 is painted blue, which percentage, so that's fine. So in order to do that, we do the top divided by bottom and then times it by 100, which gives us 40%. It's only worth 1 mark. The other way you could have done it was to turn the 120 out of 200 into a percentage, which would give you 60%, and then subtract it from 100%. Either would give you 40%. Okay. If you did this on your calculator, and remember I told you try to put brackets in there. So brackets around the top and then brackets around the bottom, still including these ones to make sure it comes out right. Do it on your calculator, you actually end up with 19. If you, not 19, 20, 20. Personally, I would work out the top, so 361, that's 19 squared, plus 23, divided by the bottom is 19.2. Just in case I don't get the final answer correct, because that would give me 1 mark just doing that bit of working out. So I would do that just in case. Okay, number 5. We need to know which bookshop is selling the textbook for the lower price. Show you're working clearly. Right, so Beachfield Books are increasing their price by 16%. Remember, a 16% increase, we do 100%. Add the 16 and we have 116% in total. Turn it into a decimal by dividing by 100, which gives you 1.16. So to do a 16% increase, we're timesing by 1.16. So it's $17.50 times 1.16, which gives you $20.30. Now, Clifton, it's a reduction this time of 20%. So instead of adding, I'm going to subtract. So I'm going to do 100%, take away 20%, which gives me 80%. So it leaves me with 80%. Turn that into a decimal by dividing by 100, which gives you 0.8. So to do a 20% reduction, we're timesing by 0.8. So here we are going to do $25.35 times by 0.8, which gives us $28 cents. So then you have to, so that will give you 2 marks. And then finally for your last mark, you need to put the correct answer. So you need to put your conclusion. Clifton is now selling the textbook for the lower price. Okay, so don't forget your conclusion. Oops. The lower price. Okay. Question 6. Express the ratio 5 to 9 in a ratio 1 to 9. So that means that they want this first number to be 1. To make 5 into 1, it means we divide it by 5. Remember, whatever we did on one side, we need to do to the other. So let's divide that by 5 as well to give a ratio of 1 to 1.8. Okay, the sum of 3 students' height is 504 centimetres. So we've got the ratio here. Remember to share ratios. We're going to do 7 plus 8 plus 9, which gives us 24. So we know there are 24 parts in total. And we're going to do 504 divided by 24 to work out that each part is 21 centimetres. So each part is 21 centimetres. So the tallest person must have 9 parts. So then we're going to do 9 times 21 to give us that the tallest person is 189 centimetres. Okay, round to 2 significant figures. So 8 is the first significant figure. 2 is the second significant figure, so we're going to cut it off there. The next number is going to tell you whether to leave it as 8.2 or round up to 8.3. Because it's 5 or more, we're rounding up to 8.3. Number 8 is a percentage change question. So remember I told you how to do this. We find the difference. So 39,000, take away 35,880, divided by the original cost. So it's been reduced from this amount. So reduced from 39,000. So that's the original cost. and then times it by 100. And you can do that all in your calculator to get 8%. Right, next questions. This is a percentage increase. So as I told you before, we always start off with 100%, add the 14%, which gives us 114% in total. Turn it into a decimal by dividing by 100, and it gives you that in order to do a 14% increase, we're going to multiply by 1.14. So we do 72 times 1.14, which gives us $82 and 8 cents, sorry. Sorry, let me check that. Sorry, 182 I should put, I think. Let me just check it on the calculator. 0.14. No, $82.08. Then the next one, again, it's the percentage change question. So find the difference. So 61.88, take away 52. Divide it by the original cost. So again, it originally cost $52. And then times it by 100. And again, do it all in your calculator to get 19% increase. Question 10, round to 4 significant figures. So 4 significant figures is 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're cutting it off here. And we need to know whether to round this last one up to 8 or leave it as 7. Well, if you look at the next number, it's 5 or more. So we're going to round it up to 8. But do not forget to fill in the rest of these numbers with zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers with zeros, because we still want it to hold the same place of value as before. We don't want to actually change the number. So if it was thousands before, it stays as thousands. Okay, question 11. The mass of the bucket when it's full of water is 5.75 to 2 decimal places, and we want the upper and lower bounds of this mass. Remember, to 2 decimal places is 0.01. And remember, I said to you, if you get stuck, then halve it, and that will tell you that to find the upper and lower bounds, we're going to add or subtract 0.005. Okay, because we halve the accuracy, so we halve the 2 decimal places. So the lower bound is 5.745 and the upper bound is 5.755. Right, question 12. We have to figure out if Nasheen has enough ribbon to wrap both presents. Okay, we need to be careful. This is not 3/4 of this ribbon. This is 3/4 of a meter. So that's saying that she has 3/4 of a meter, or 75 centimeters. Okay, so 3/4 of a meter, so 0.75 meters, which is exactly the same as 75 centimeters. And a second present, she needs 1.76 meters. And again, we can change that into centimeters, which is 176 centimeters. So if we add those two together, 176 plus 75, we end up with 251 centimeters. So she does not have enough because she has only got 250 centimeters. So no, because she only has 250 centimetres and she needs 251 centimetres. Okay. Now, remember, this is a show that question, so you cannot just do this on the calculator. First of all, turn both of these into top-heavy fractions by doing 4 times 3 plus 2 to get the numerator. 4 times 3 is 12, plus 2 is 14, so 14 over 3, divided by 1 times 6 plus 5 gives you 11 over 6. Now remember, keep it the same, so keep the first one the same, change it to a multiplication sign and flip the second fraction, so the 6 is now on top and 11 is at the bottom. All of this can be done on your calculator if needs be, and so 14 times 6 gives you 84 over 33. Some of you cancelled it down straight away from there. Others of you turned it back into a mixed fraction by looking at how many 33s go into 684. So it's 2 and 84 take away 66 gives you 18 over 33. And then simplify it. This is divisible by 3 and this is divisible by 3. So it gives you 2 and 6 over 11. Okay, so you had to do all of that to get the full 3 marks. Number 14, a lot of you didn't like this. We wanted to find out, express the percentage of students studying Italian or Spanish as a percentage of those studying French or German. Okay, so we know that 15 students study French, 45 of the students study, so we know we've got 180 students. 45% study German, so we need to find 45% of 180 to find out how many study German, which is 81 students. So 81 students study German. Then it says, so then we can find out how many study Italian or Spanish. Remember, Italian or Spanish, we want the total, so that's fine, added together. So let's do 15 plus 81, which gives us 96. And then we do 180, take away 96, which gives us 84. That means 84 students study Italian or Spanish. Okay, we don't know how many do Italian or how many do Spanish. We just know that in total 84 must do Italian or Spanish, and luckily that's what they want, is Italian or Spanish. Now, so far I've got 3 out of the 4 marks just doing up until that point. So finding out that 81 students study German, 1 mark. Finding out that 96 in total do German or French is 2 marks. Finding out 84 do study Italian or Spanish, 3 marks. For the 4th and final mark, we need to do 84 because it wants the percentage of students studying Italian or Spanish as a percentage of those studying French or German. So that's 90 out of 96. Times it by 100, and that gives us 87.5% for the final 4th mark. Okay, right. We want to find the upper and lower bound of 18 millimetres to the nearest 0.5. Remember I said to you to find the upper and lower bound. Halve, so divide it by 2, halve whatever it has been rounded to. So half of 0.5 is 0.25. So we add 0.25 to find the upper bound and subtract 0.25 to find the lower bound. So the lower bound is 17.75 and the upper bound is 18.25. Okay, lovely last question. It was the most simple one we could have. So we say let x equals 0.8 recurring. And that's, remember what the dot means on top of the 8. So 0.8 recurring. Then we find 10x, which is 8 points. So we're just times in by 10. So move the decimal point move the decimal place 1 point that way. So it becomes 8.88 recurring. And we know that x is 0.88 recurring. And we're going to subtract. So we know that the recurring bit, these two bits are going to disappear because we know 8 take away 8, 8 take away 8 are just going to give us zeros. Then we do 8 take away 0, which is 8. And 10x take away 1x is 9x. Then to get x on its own, we're going to divide both sides by 9 to give us x equals 8/9. And that is it, the end of our paper.